everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarah and if you're new here, remember to subscribe and to give this video a thumb up. I made a lot of videos about Tromso and Norway in general. What to do, the different activities, what to eat, what shops there are there. All these videos are grouped in a playlist, so if you want to know more about Tromso or Norway in general, you can go and check out that playlist. I will leave the link down below. The most asked question that I still receive is, when did I go to Tromso and what is the best time to go? If you want to go to Tromso to see the Northern Lights, they say that the best period is between the mid-end of September and mid-end of March. That's because during the summer, when you are so high up above the Arctic Circle, there is always daylight, so it's always bright. If there is solar activity, you would be able to see the Northern Lights in summer as well, but because it's not dark, there is no dark time, it's always daylight, you're not able to see them. That's why from the mid-end of September to the mid-end of March, it's enough dark to be able to see the Northern Lights. Of course, the sooner it gets dark, the more chances, the sooner you can see the Northern Lights. That's why for me the best period to go to Tromso to see the Northern Lights is between the end of November and the mid of March, and that's exactly when I went there. So I went to Tromso twice. The first time was the first week of December 2021. I landed in Oslo end of November and I flew to Tromso on the 1st of December, and the second time that I visited Tromso was in mid-March 2022. These two trips were for me two completely different experiences because of the daylight, the activities, the weather. I was in the same place, but for me everything was completely different, and that's what I want to talk to you about today. I want to tell you a little bit these two different trips and how for me were two completely different experiences. Bear in mind that what I'm going to present to you is not the absolute true or like an objective situation. Both trips were very much influenced by the weather, and of course you might be going to Tromso during the same time and find a completely different weather and have a completely different experience. So bear in mind that what I'm talking about today is based on my experience on that specific time and year. My stay in Tromso in December 2021 was amazing. I have such a beautiful memory of that trip. That was something incredible for me, something that I never experienced because of the polar night. When I went there in December 2021, I was able to experience the polar night, which means that the sun never rises above the horizon, so you basically never see the sun. This doesn't mean that it's always dark. It's not dark 24/7 because you still have between 11 and 2 p.m. some sort of daylight, but it's kind of a blue pinkish daylight. It's basically the light that you see before the sun rises. That was so beautiful. It made everything so beautiful. It's an experience that you cannot explain in words to someone who's never been there, because your body reacts to a day without daylight. So it was also very interesting to see how my body reacted to that. Like at 2 p.m. you felt like it was 8 p.m. Look at the lights, like it's 1 p.m. and it's basically dark. Let me show you. This way is basically completely dark and this way has a little bit of light, but it looks like 7 p.m. and it's only 1. It's crazy. This light made everything so beautiful. To experience this particular time of the year was for me something incredible that I will never forget. The temperature when I was there in December 2021 was between, I would say, 0 and -15 degrees Celsius. So it was quite cold. There was a lot of snow everywhere in the city center, or when we went a little bit outside to do the different activities, there was a lot of snow. It was not too cold. You had to dress properly in order to be able to stay outside and do this type of activities. The only time that I felt really cold was during that Northern Lights tour. I think that night we were outside basically until 2 a.m. I think the temperature reached probably like -20 Celsius degrees, so it was really cold, but they gave us umbrellas, overall suits that you put on top of your old stuff, and that made everything a little bit more bearable. In general, in that time of the year, it's quite cold, there is a lot of snow, but as long as you're well dressed or appropriately for this type of cold, then you can enjoy all activities without any problem. During that stay, it snowed only once, only one evening. For the rest of the trip, the weather was quite clear. During our Northern Light tour, we were able to see very good Northern Lights. The sky was very clear. It was pitch black. The sun never rises, so also the moon never rises, so you don't have the moon. There is no light pollution at all where they bring you to see the Northern Lights, so we were able to see amazing Northern Lights. Even the tour guide told us that were exceptionally strong Northern Lights. For me, it was the first Northern Light tour, the first time trying to see the Northern Lights, and we saw these amazingly strong Northern Lights. So for me, it was one of the most beautiful experiences in my life that I will never forget. Another pro of visiting Tromso during December is that the city is completely decorated for Christmas. Everywhere there are Christmas decoration shops, restaurants, hotels. There are so many trees. There is a Christmas market, which was quite small when I was there, but bear in mind it was still COVID time, so the city was still quite empty. But I believe in general it's an amazing month because everywhere in the city you can really feel this Christmas spirit. You can hear a Christmas song, and for me it's just beautiful, and it's the most magical time of the year, of course. When I visited Tromso in March 2022, the weather was completely different. The first and most important difference is that the sun rises above the horizon. So when I was there, it was very sunny all the time, which was really weird to experience the city with the sun. It was completely different. For me, it felt like a completely different city. I had to buy sunglasses because the sun was so strong. The days were just amazing. We had blue skies, weather between 3 and 5 degrees Celsius, which, bear in mind, is absolutely not common for that time of the year. And exactly for this reason, we didn't have that much snow in Tromso. In the city, there was almost no snow at all. On the Saturday afternoon, there was a snow fight in the middle of the city center, and they had to bring the snow there because there was no snow at all. Even when we went a little bit outside of the town to do the activities, the snow was almost completely melted, and everyone there told me that it was very much not common for that time of the year because March is supposed to be one of the coldest months as well, with a lot of snow. And I think for this reason I had a completely different experience because I saw basically Tromso in full winter in December and basically Tromso in spring in March, which is not common. Because of this beautiful weather, the city seemed completely different. The people seemed completely different. There were so many people outside. The days, of course, were longer, so you could stay outside in the city longer. The city was full. Everyone was sitting outside at cafes, enjoying a drink. Even we sat outside at like 5 degrees. I would probably never sit outside here, but it felt so warm and so nice just to sit outside, drink a coffee, sunbathing, enjoying the beautiful view of the port and enjoying this snow fight that was going on in the city. It was really a completely different experience. Another important difference is that when I went there, both December 2021 and March 2022 were times in which a lot of countries were still closed because of COVID. I think Norway was one of the first countries to open up to certain countries, and among them there was Switzerland, so I was able to go there in December, but the city was completely empty. There were no tourists from the US or from Asia. In March, I think a lot more countries were able to go to Norway. That's why I feel there were a lot more people. The fact that the days were longer made all the activities last longer because you didn't have only this time frame between 11 and 2 p.m. but the days were longer, like until I think 5 or 6 p.m. and this enabled us also to go on different tours that we wouldn't have been able to do in December. For example, we did a minibus tour of the fjords, which was for me amazing. Like, we drove around Tromso and around like the fjords around Tromso. The sun, the blue sky, the beautiful weather. I had so much fun during this tour. Beautiful fjords, beautiful mountains. You could see like the fjord, the water, mountain full of snow. I love that, and I think it wouldn't have been the same in December. I'm not even sure if they do it in December. So that's one of the most differences between December and March. You might be able to do different tours which do not really make sense in December, but make sense in March where the days are longer. As I said before, because of the lack of snow, the other activities were a little bit different. We were able to do the ski sledding. There was enough snow for that, but it was like not as much snow as we had in December. The reindeer sledding was completely different because there was basically only slush and mud, so it was not like riding on snow, it was basically really riding on mud. For the snowmobiles, that was not really a problem because we were really high up the mountain and there was enough snow there. I think, yeah, the main difference was the reindeer sledding for sure, and also a little bit the husky sledding. What was completely different for me was the Northern Light activity. I did the same tour that I did in December with the same guide and in the same place. One of the first differences is that the tour starts a little bit later because while in December at 2 p.m. is pitch black, you have to wait until 8-9 p.m. in March for it to be completely dark. So the tour started a lot later, and it was not pitch black as it was in December because the moon was illuminating everything so much. I remember that we walked in December to the shore. There was a little fjord close to this place and you couldn't see anything. We needed torch to go there, while in March we could see basically everything because the moon was so bright. It's different because in December you could see like pitch black sky and only the light coming from the northern lights, which was beautiful, while in March we could see still quite strong northern lights. It was really nice, but there is always this light coming from the moon, which I don't know, I enjoyed it probably a little bit less. Our tour guide said that for her the pictures are much more beautiful when there is the moon. It was in general a very different experience. So which trip did I prefer? Is it better December or March? Honestly, I cannot say which one is better because they were completely different, and I don't know, both had pros and cons. December, I loved the polar night. I saw amazing northern lights. There was so much snow. In March, it was beautiful to see the fjords with the sun and these blue skies, amazing weather. On the other side, there was not that much snow. I don't know, some activities were not as beautiful as they were in December, and also bear in mind that the fact that there was no snow in March is not normal, and normally there is snow in March and normally should be a completely different experience, but because of global warming, now you never know what you're gonna get. It might be that there is no snow in December, who knows? I don't know, they were two completely different experiences, and you should base, I think, your decision on what you really want to do or what you want to see. Do you want to experience the polar night? Then go November, December, January. Do you want to have like longer tours, or you want to explore more around Tromso and have more time to explore places around Tromso? Then definitely choose March because the days are longer. In general, it really depends what you want to do, how you want to experience Tromso. If you want to see the northern lights, of course it depends on the solar activity. You might not be able to see it in December, but you also might be able not to see it in March. It depends on the solar activity, and that of course no one can control, no one can predict. Maybe I like December a little bit better because of the Christmas spirit and the Christmas decorations. It's very difficult to say which one is better. I loved both times. I had an amazing time both times. I think it's just worth visiting Tromso no matter what time of the year. Thank you very much for watching. I hope this video was useful. Leave me a comment and let me know when you are planning to go to Tromso. I am very curious what you decide. Let me know if this video helped you decide. As always, remember to subscribe to my channel and to leave this video a thumb up. Bye!